brought by Councilman Thompson. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow as we pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you and we do thank you for our country. We thank you for the liberty. We thank you for the freedom that you've given us. We know that that wasn't free, so help us to always remember and not take for granted our freedom. Father, be with us tonight. I pray that you'll just lead us and guide us as we do the work of the city and we represent the people. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Our first item tonight will be those items brought forward by those here in the audience that would like to address the City Council about items not on tonight's agenda. You're welcome to address the City Council in the open meeting, and all items will be researched and put on a future agenda as necessary. Anyone like to address the City Council about items not on tonight's agenda? Please stand and state your name and address, please.
My name is Carmen Stephen. My husband Walt and I have lived at 3329 South 142nd Street for 26 years.
Ms. Stevens, can you turn the microphone on, please? Thank you. Sorry.
There. Okay. And we have a problem. I have 4 weeks of trash sitting at the end of my driveway. We have called and talked to Christine 17 times in 15 months. It is an ongoing thing that's been going on for about a year and a half. We have talked to Waste Management umpteen times. I can't tell you how many times we've called them. I've even called the corporate office and talked to them. My husband was on the phone for 45 minutes on hold to talk to a manager today. And that lady's name was Savannah. And all she could tell us is she would put a urgent trash pickup in the system. Now, I did have a customer service, Renee, call me back this morning, and he said that he's seen where she put it in, and he was checking to see if the trash had been picked up. Now, every day last week, we talked to Waste Management. They'll pick it up today. They'll get it today. We'll get it today. All week long, that's all we heard, and nothing was ever done about it. I need your help to get this settled.
Yeah. Have they given you any explanation? No explanation.
It's a new driver. It's a new driver. And that's not my problem. You know, this has been ongoing, and so I feel like pass the communication. Make sure you get these people's trash picked up. There's 2 houses north of us of Stillwell. We live 3 houses south of Stillwell on 142nd Street. Tell that new driver, make sure you get these people's trash. We're frequent flyers now. They know us by name because we've talked to them so much. So I just need you guys' help.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Do we have any information other than that?
Not really any more information. It's all of 142nd Street that has been experiencing this. It has been escalated to operations multiple times with Waste Management. It has been escalated through Wyandotte County to KCK 311 on several occasions. They do not have a response back yet from Waste Management.
Okay.
As far as this most recent.
If you wouldn't mind preparing with all the addresses and the pertinent information with the numbers of complaints and the numbers of calls and the people she's called to, if you could prepare that in a letter, and I'm going to pass that forward to our elected county officials, both Commissioner Stites, Burrows, and then the Mayor Garner. I'm sorry, I forgot that. But not that that will do anything, but we're bound by a contract that was entered into a long time ago that restricts a little bit of what we're able to do, but we'll certainly pass this along, and hopefully there'll be some remediation.
Well, and I understand we have to jump through hoops. You know, you got to go through the chain of command.
But unfortunately, those hoops are landing in your trash can. And
right. We have no more trash cans. Yeah. That's what we're kind of hoping. Tomorrow's trash pickup day. And we're kind of hoping maybe somebody gave the memo to the new driver. But, you know, we understand I mean, we're to the point where we're almost ready to say, pull us out of the city's trash service. Quit, we don't want to pay the 16 and some change a month, and we'll just pay Honey Creek, because Honey Creek goes right past our house. Their driver even stopped and asked us, am I missing something? Am I supposed to pick up your trash? Because the trash has been sitting out there week after week. And we said, no, it's not you guys.
Well, we'll certainly do our best.
All righty, thank you very much.
And thank you for coming.
All right, thank you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Anyone else that would like to stand and address the city council about items not on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, we'll move along to the consent agenda. The consent agenda this evening includes the minutes from the June 27th city council meeting, claims for city operation, a public use request for Thibodaux Days fire truck display and splash pad, and the public use request for Phone Glow 5K. Anything to be pulled by city staff, citizens? Questions or concerns from the council? I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
So moved by Councilman Reeves and seconded by Councilman Shannon. Vote, please. Oh, questions, concerns? Questions? No. Questions, concerns, comments? No. Vote, please.
Voting on a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Thompson?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Gurley? Yes. Reeves?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. On to new business this evening, the first of which, the only of which, is the notice of intent to exceed revenue neutral rate on our budget. Staff?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tilly LaPlante, Finance Director. The motion tonight is to approve a notice of intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate. We received our revenue neutral rate from the county on June 15th of 37.212 mils. That rate would generate the same tax dollars that we generated for the 2022 budget. In order to generate one more dollar, the council has to approve a notice of intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate and set a estimated proposed rate. Staff is recommending to set that rate at the current mill levy rate of 42.892. That would be the rate that's sent to the county clerk, has to be to her by July 20th. And that rate could come down after we're going to have a revenue neutral rate hearing. We've part of the public hearing notice is to set the hearing for August 22nd. So we would have a hearing, and this information is going out to all of the taxpayers in the district, so they will know what the proposed rate is and when the hearing is, and it'll be for all of the jurisdictions that levy taxes in Bonner. And so this, once we've set that, and at the hearings, the council can decide to lower the amount of taxes that we want, but they couldn't raise it after that. So that's why we're suggesting to just keep the tax rates the same that they currently are in the publication and in the notice of intent. And then we'll have a revenue neutral rate hearing on August 22nd, and then a budget hearing that we're proposing for September 12th, where those taxes can be changed, can be lowered if needed or wanted. So this motion is to approve exceeding the rate, setting the rate, the proposed rate at the current mill levy rate, and then approving the publication to publish it in the Echo. It has to be published 10 days before the hearing. So it would probably be published next Thursday. Any questions?
So those approximate 5.5 mils that between the revenue neutral rate and what our mill rate was last year, represents what kind of increase in our valuation?
It's about, the valuation increased from 91 million to 105 million. It's about 600,000 in tax revenue.
Okay, so that's about a 91.
It's a 15.36%.
15% increase in valuation.
Yeah.
That's what I was wanting, but
about
our
a
mill
third
rate
of it.
has not increased.
Right. This does not increase the mill rate.
And that's the important part that we need to convey to people. We're still having the same mill rate, but our valuation has gone up. That's why we have to go over this revenue neutral.
And about a third of that increase is from new improvements or change in use. Old Dominion's part of it, so it's,
The other
growth is included in that.
Huh?
Growth
growth is included in that 10% or the 30%?
in the 15%, yeah.
And you said 30% of that was in new growth,
About a third of that was
and the other 2/3 is in increase in valuation.
increase in valuations, yeah.
That was my question. Any other questions, ma'am? Need a motion first? Oh, yes, we do need a motion. I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to notify the county clerks of the city's intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate, maintaining the current mill levy of 42.892 mills, and to set a public hearing for August 22nd, 2022, to hear comments on exceeding the revenue neutral rate.
Second. So moved by Mr. Stevens and seconded by Mr. Shannon. Questions, concerns, comments, and we'll start right here. I'm sorry. Didn't want to get the cart before the horse.
No.
So if we don't approve that, then we basically deliver about a 12.5% tax decrease.
It depends.
Because the mills will go down to 37 from 42.
I think you'd be doing about a 15% decrease, the same as what our valuations went up. It depends, if that's assuming your valuation stayed the same. So,
I'm sorry, what do you mean your valuation stayed the same?
like if your valuation that you're getting taxed on this year that you just got is the same as your valuation last year, and you use the revenue neutral rate, then it's gonna drop about 15%, your taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
The questions here?
Nothing here. Nothing here.
No other questions, concerns, comments? Vote, please. Oh, I didn't ask the citizens if they had anything other to ask. I'm sorry. Seeing none, vote, please.
Voting on a motion to notify the county clerks of the city's intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate, maintaining the current mill levy rate of 42.892, and to set a public hearing for August 22nd, 2022, to hear comments on exceeding the revenue neutral rate. Wood?
Okay.
Gurley?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Rolling right along to our reports this evening, the first of which, the city manager's report.
Just following up on the budget conversation a bit, you all have in front of you a updated budget calendar. The main thing that's changed on here is in the past we've had, this is only the second time we've had to have a revenue neutral hearing, but last year we had that consolidated with our typical public hearing that we have for the budget. Those have been broken out to actually occur on two different meetings. The hope would be that those are two opportunities for public engagement for folks to come in, offer any suggestions or questions that they might have. So again, that's the revenue neutral hearing is on the 22nd, and then the actual budget hearing is slated to be held on the 12th of September. The main thing there too is that we do have to have the budget certified by the 30th. So we do have that meeting on the 26th of September. We hope to have the budget all done by that point in time, or at least the 12th for sure. But if there are any last minute changes that need to occur, that 26th date does allow for that to occur obviously a special meeting could be held as well. But again, that's been updated to reflect those changes and what was just approved. Continuing on calendars, there was an update on the Parks and Rec month, July, excuse me, let's say January. July is Parks and Rec month, so there has been some slight changes on that. I believe that's available down here and then also on the city website for those that are interested. I believe the pet photo opportunity was moved from today to next week, so I'll be able to make it.
And I also want to mention it was not because of me being busy this evening either. So I'm throwing down.
Yeah. So again, some slight changes there. I do want to thank everybody that took part in Bonner Blast, City Band most especially, but everybody that touched that event. I think it was a great success, a lot of people. I think the folks that were trying to take account lost count a couple of times as far as the number of folks that we had downtown. Also want to thank Amber Bogan. She was instrumental in getting the fireworks set up. So again, the city has taken on that responsibility of ensuring that the fireworks do still continue after several years of successfully being held by some other folks. And then last but not least, Tiblo Days, again, the weekend of the 27th. A lot of events are being put together, one of which was on the consent calendar tonight. But again, just a plug for that event coming up at the end of the month. That is all I have this evening.
Very good, thank you. We'll start with city council items, and we'll start down here with Councilman Shannon.
Nothing here, thanks.
Where is the Bonner Springs, I'm sorry, where does the Bonner Springs Historical Society meet? It's not in here.
Most of the time it meets at the event center, Harrington Event Center.
Okay.
But the next meeting is at the Fuel House on Thursday night, the
Yes.
14th.
All right. That's all.
Nothing here.
Yes, want to compliment the city staff for their efforts on going through and spraying the creek, Spring Creek, behind my house and 100 houses on down the way besides mine. And several people have said, hey, thank you, thank you. And also I noticed that the pond at the cemetery looks the best that it has in over a decade. So I want to mention that because it does look good. The only thing other than that that's a little bit on the negative side, I've heard a few things about shortening the parade distance, you know, and cutting off up there at the top instead of going downhill. So we're going to try it for a year. Nothing else. Thank you.
All right. Nothing else. Looking forward to the pet photo contest with my new family member, or I guess I should say she is actually a dog, so that's good. Yeah, and I'm glad that you came forward with your concern. I appreciate that, and I've encouraged people to bring those concerns forward. Yes, we need to go through our channels, and that's what I encourage too. But coming to the city council, although it's another hoop, I appreciate it. And to that regard, we might want to check on our codes concerning how close to entryways people can smoke. The public, I'm sorry, it's not the Public Housing Authority, although it is the senior high-rise. I've received a few concerns about how close people are smoking to the exits, and that might be worth a follow-up. I didn't have the exact distances or who all's susceptible to that, but I know there's concerns and have been in the past, and it's worth conveying to the management there. I've received nothing but compliments on the 4th of July celebration. The fireworks were wonderful and very well received. People were able to see it from all over town. Even spots they couldn't see it before, I guess, so they were going up a little higher than they had been. I don't know. The humidity that 10 minutes must not have been very high. But to see all the people in our community after that was very encouraging. We had traffic jams that evening in Bonner Springs. And the police departments, we had cars stacked in the cloverleaf as we usually do, and it's encouraging. It's very well received.
This is the first year that we've left the park to go see after the band plays, and I knew people came to town. I knew they parked along the highway. I had no comprehension of how many cars were in the cloverleaf or were in any spot of grass they could park in. It was kind of interesting.
And the over at the industrial park, over in Shawnee, over in all the way down to Lake of the Forest, all the way back, all the parking lots in Bonner. We left the band concert and we're making our way back up to the car, and there were people sit in lawn chairs behind the funeral home in the city parking lot, looking the opposite direction. And I had to say, you're not going to see them at all here, and they're not this direction. They're over here. And they said, oh, and so they all scrambled to see, and you could see it from different spots, but it's deceiving. Bonner Springs with the hills and the trees. Some places you think you could see it really well, and you can't, and other places you can't. So I've got a lot of compliments on that.
I did hear some chatter on social media about why is it on Thursday night, so late at night, and similar things. And I think it's important that we let people know it's part of our downtown summer events. It's tied to the city band concerts. It always has been. So it's always on a Thursday night, and I'd like to see it stay that way.
Yeah, I saw that explanation, and after that it seemed to be better received. And that just points to this impacting new people that hadn't an experience with it before. And so that's what it's all about. I also recognize that the free advertising we got from KMBC helped immensely.
Although I never did see it on the news.
Oh, I did. Oh, you did? So, yeah, I'm really glad for that. I believe that's everything I had to bring forward this evening, unless anybody has anything for me tonight. Seeing none. All right, we're adjourned.
Yeah, there were 38
Good luck
cars
with
up
the
at John's
trash
house.
situation.
38, really? Oh.